Have you noticed the weather becoming more extreme in your country or on television? Does it seem to be warmer in the winter with less snow and more rain? Do you feel that spring is coming a little earlier each year, with flowers blooming or birds arriving before you expect them? Climate change is happening, and its impact on all of us is growing. If we don't take action to stop it during the course of this century, global warming is almost certainly going to change the world we live in dramatically and alter our way of life. Millions of people's lives could be put in danger. The climate is changing because of the way people live these days. The power plants that generate energy to provide us with electricity and to heat our homes, the cars and planes that we travel in, the factories that produce the goods we buy. All these play a part in changing the climate by giving off what are known as greenhouse gases. Our atmosphere acts as a transparent protective covering around the Earth, lets in sunlight and retains heat. Without the atmosphere, the sun's heat would immediately rebound off the Earth's surface back into space. If that happened, it would be some 30 degrees Celsius colder on Earth. Everything would freeze. The atmosphere therefore acts like the glass walls of a greenhouse. This is why people talk about the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which trap heat, are responsible for this effect. Most of the greenhouse gases occur naturally. However, since the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, human society too has been producing greenhouse gases in ever-increasing amounts. As a result, their concentrations in the atmosphere are now higher than at any time in the past 650,000 years. This means rising temperatures on Earth, which are causing the climate to change. The principal greenhouse gas generated by human activities is carbon dioxide, CO2. It's released when fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas, are burned. Most of us know carbon dioxide from soft drinks. The bubbles in the carbonated drinks and beer are actually CO2 bubbles. It's also vital to the breathing process. We take in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, while trees and plants absorb CO2 to produce oxygen. This is why the world's forests are so important. They help soak up some of the excess CO2 that we generate. Yet deforestation is taking place across much of the world, with tropical forests disappearing much faster than others at a rate of 10 million hectares a year. When forests are cut or burnt, they release CO2 into the atmosphere. It's estimated that deforestation causes around 20% of global emission of greenhouse gases. So stopping this process is an important priority. Climate change has already begun. Since 1850, the average global temperature has increased by 0.76 Celsius degrees. Climate experts predict that the average global temperature is most likely to increase further by between 1.8 and 4 Celsius degrees over the course of this century, but could rise by as much as 6.4 degrees in this worst case. Climate change is already having an impact around the globe. Unless we bring it under control, it could trigger catastrophic events, such as rapidly rising sea levels and food and water shortages in some parts of the world. The polar ice caps are melting. The area of sea covered by the Arctic ice at the North Pole has shrunk by 10% in recent decades, and the thickness of the ice above the water has decreased by about 40%. Glaciers are retreating all around the world. Since 1850, glaciers in the European Alps have lost about 2/3 of their volume. As the ice caps melt, sea levels are rising twice as fast as they were 50 years ago. By 2003, scientists found the sea rising by 31 centimeters per century, and this could double again over the next 100 years, with the global sea level rising by up to 88 centimeters by 2100. This would flood low-lying islands and coastal areas, such as the Maldives, the Nile Delta in Egypt and Bangladesh. Climate change is expected to increase the intensity and frequency of extreme weather events such as storms, floods, droughts, and heat waves. Since 1990, Europe has been hit by almost 260 major river floods, including the catastrophic summer floods of the Danube in 2002. Since 1998, flooding has killed more than 700 people in Europe and displaced 500,000 others. Water is already scarce in many regions of the world. Almost 1/5 of the world population, 1.2 billion people, doesn't have access to clean drinking water. Tropical diseases like malaria and dengue might spread because the area where the climate conditions are suitable for the mosquitoes, ticks, and sandflies will expand. As world gets warmer, birds, insects, animals and plants are moving northwards and to higher ground. But there is a strong risk that many will not be able to keep up with the speed of climate change. Quite simply, we need to reduce emissions of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. If we don't take any action, temperatures will increase even more, and at some point the climate could spiral out of control. Reducing our greenhouse gas emissions will require investments and changes to how we produce and use energy. But the price of doing nothing would be much higher because of the damage and suffering that climate change would cause. Climate change will not disappear immediately, but the sooner we all become aware of it and take action against it, the better we will be able to take control of our destiny and protect all the beauty and diversity of our planet for the future.